Welcome back to BT here on this Wednesday morning. An important event happening later today, Rogers Talks, and it's all about giving great advice to hopeful entrepreneurs. Sarah Prevet joining us right now, founder of Future Design School, and this idea of entrepreneurship, one of the key words you just mentioned during the break was creativity to get started. Tell us about that.
You know what, it's so important when you're an entrepreneur to actually have a repeatable process that you can follow. So we're big components of ideation, validation, and rapid prototyping. It's about trying to make sure that you validate that there's a problem we're solving, and you can figure out how to best solve it before you actually invest a lot of time and money.
And it's easy to get overwhelmed when it talks about fixing a problem. How am I going to approach it with strategy? But you really incorporate the idea of design, and tell us about how user-based design is something to really consider if you at home are looking to be an entrepreneur.
Absolutely. So we actually come at it from really putting your customer at the center of the design process. So that means not just designing for your customer, but designing with your customer. So we're really, really big fans of empathetic design, which means you're coming at it from putting yourself in your user or your customer's shoes. And so how do you really understand what they're feeling, what they need? And we have methods that actually take you through really uncovering that need and really understanding how to build for that end user. The best case for success is that you're solving a real problem that somebody really wants solved, and hopefully there's a lot of people who have that same problem.
And with that problem, it helps when there's a community for that mentorship aspect. If we look across the nation, how has entrepreneurship grown in Canada, and how does it compare worldwide?
It's been amazing. You know what, in the past several years, we've just seen such an incredible boost in our ecosystem, and we've had such incredible success stories. I mean, here in Vancouver, you guys have Hootsuite and Ryan Holmes, which is absolutely one of the top startups in Canada in my mind. And of course, we had the recent IPO with Shopify, an Ottawa-based startup. There's just been a really incredible grassroots movement with local stewards across cities, across the country, and we're just seeing great success. And I think this is just the beginning.
And success is that key driving factor in this entire process. But what about realistic expectations for aspiring entrepreneurs, especially in those first couple of years?
You know what, startups are abysmally hard. I mean, it's actually sadistic, I think, to be an entrepreneur. The odds are stacked against you, and those first 2 years are crucial. And it's where your cash flow is the tightest, and you're trying to find that product market fit, and really being able to rely on other people in your community, that support of veteran entrepreneurs who can sort of point out the potential pitfalls before you hit them. That's so, so important. And I think that's why we're seeing such a great rise in Canadian startups, is because we have those veterans, we have that mentorship, and we have big companies like Rogers that are out there trying to really promote entrepreneurship and promote that ecosystem and that conversation between people.
Well, you're a part of that mentorship, and you've got an exercise. So let's say you're out there, you want to be an entrepreneur, but you're completely stuck. Tell us about the paper exercise.
So we actually, at Future Design School, we have methods around design and brainstorming, and I think rapid brainstorming is such an important skill that anybody can use in any level of business. And so we have this exercise called Crazy Eights. And so we actually learned this from the guys at Google Ventures. They're brilliant, and they have a 5-day design sprint, and we shamelessly stole the Crazy Eights from them. And so anyone can do it. You take a piece of legal-sized paper, you fold it into 8 squares, and then you set a timer for yourself. And so you actually have 40 seconds per square to fill out your ideas. So at this point, you've already thought about what your problem is that you're trying to solve. You've validated that there is a problem, that there's people who actually want this solved, and you're going through.
You did doodle this, by the way, so guys, we can bring up that photo.
You're going to show my doodles.
Yeah.
Here, everyone, are my doodles. So this is an example of a completed Crazy Eights. So this would be how I was looking at how I might be able to leverage tablets in the classroom to enable personalized learning. And so this is just me getting out as many ideas as possible, thinking about what the teacher would see, thinking about what the student would see, thinking about how a teacher might project video onto a screen within the classroom, how a student might use it at home, thinking about the data that would be behind that and how you could align sort of student achievement against each other. This is just really about a rapid brainstorming exercise to get as many ideas on paper as possible. And you'll notice that I used a big fat Sharpie. That's on purpose. So what we want people to do is not fall in love with their ideas. We want it not to be precious, just get down as much as possible, and then you can take it to the next step. And so this is just a rapid brainstorming activity that can be used for products, for process, for strategy, and that time constraint creates a sense of urgency, and it makes you get as many things down on paper as possible, and then you can see, okay, here's some of my best ideas, and take that to the next level and sort of making a detailed roadmap of how you might take that into a user storyboard, sort of mapping it out visually.
Storyboarding being the key word and getting motivated by that. There you see details on screen, rogerstalksevent.com if you'd like to check it out. What time's your session today?
I believe I am on around 8:30 or 9 a.m.
Oh, so you've got to hustle on out of here.
I do have to leave.
Well, thanks for coming on. Great information, and obviously a nice opportunity for you to learn more.